Hi students, welcome. My name is Jess Boyce. I'm here from Baylor Admissions and joined by the Program Director for the Baylor and Beyond Living and Learning Center, Leia Duncan, and Taylor Jerry, who is a current student in the Baylor Living and Learning Center. So go ahead and take it away, Leia.
Great. Hi, thank you so much for joining us, everyone. We're very excited to get to chat with you. We will take some time just telling you about Baylor and Beyond Living and Learning Center, and then we'll jump in and at the end have you ask us any questions so that we can make sure you understand who we are and are ready to apply if that's the journey you want to take with us. So let me begin by telling you a little bit about Living Learning Centers. So we have several of these on campus, and they're basically an on-campus housing experience that builds a strong community centered around a common theme. So you may see that with the different names of the LLCs, that they kind of indicate what type of theme they are. And the reason we have so many LLCs on campus is because they really do maximize your in-classroom and out-of-classroom learning opportunities. They really connect you in a way to your fellow students and to faculty, to resources on campus in a very unique way that's different to a traditional residence hall. So let's talk about the theme specifically for Baylor and Beyond LLC. So we kind of sum it up with these two phrases. At Baylor and Beyond, we want you to engage at Baylor, and we also want you to encounter the world. And so what we mean by that is engaging at Baylor means being plugged into all the traditions of the community here, all the traditions at Baylor, as well as all the resources available to you, connecting to the student organizations, really making Baylor your home while you're here on campus and benefiting from all the incredible things that our Baylor campus has to offer you. And then specifically, we also want you to get to encounter the world. And I mean this literally and also metaphorically, because we house about 15% of our population are international students or students who are American who've grown up in other countries. So you really are meeting and encountering people from all over the world when you live here. We also mean this from a programmatic perspective. You know, there is no major or area of study anymore that you cannot consider the kind of global connections to whatever it is you want to do after you graduate from Baylor. Whatever career you plan to have, it's really important that you understand things about the world beyond your kind of own culture and your own community and your own business, because we're all so globally connected. And so that's something we really try to emphasize here, is we want you to encounter the world both in your academics, learn about study abroad opportunities, and also meet people from all over the world. So let me tell you more specifically and more with actual examples of the ways that we help you do this. So we have weekly events every week in North Russell. These are traditions that we have. For example, every Friday we have something called Fun Friday, where you come to the lobby and you learn about a resource here on campus, and you get to have free food, meet people from the North Russell community, and get to connect with everybody. And also our community is set up so that 90% of our residents are freshmen and 10% are upper division students. And this wonderful balance helps you have a really full traditional freshman first year student experience and lots of people who are going through the same thing as you. But then you also have mentors and students who are sophomores, juniors, seniors who are a little bit further down the road and can provide you this mentorship and guidance and answer your questions. Our community is open to all majors, so we have students who are studying all different types of areas here, and our students come from Texas, all over the US, and all over the world. We also have this small group opportunity for students called neighborhoods. And these neighborhoods are interest or academic themed. So perhaps you are doing a course of study where you're interested in history. We have a history neighborhood, which is just a small group that gets together to talk about topics around history and learn about opportunities on campus around history. Perhaps you are studying pre-law. We have a pre-law neighborhood. Maybe you're studying languages, and we have neighborhoods for all the languages languages that are taught here on campus, and many, many more neighborhoods that you get to be a part of. So you have the large community of Baylor and Beyond in North Russell Residence Hall, but then you also have these small group opportunities, but the way you can find people where you have similar interests and academic goals. We also have lots of leadership and service opportunities. So we have lots of leadership opportunities even for freshmen. So when you arrive, if that's something you're excited about developing those skills, we have lots of ways for you to be able to do that with us. And one of the cool things we do is we like to plan lots of field trips so you can kind of get more of a cultural experience. So we have trips to Austin, the DFW area, and we went to New York City at spring break and are planning to go again next year, get to kind of really travel together and put that Beyond piece into practice. So let me tell you a little bit about North Russell. So Baylor and Beyond is housed in North Russell Residence Hall. So anyone who lives in North Russell is also part of the Baylor and Beyond LLC. And it's a newly refurbished hall. So all of the rooms and the bathrooms and all of the entire building is kind of up to date and very fresh and clean and wonderful. We have spacious rooms and closets for our students. We're conveniently located on campus too. North Russell is right opposite the Penland Dining Hall, and the Brooks Dining Hall is not far. The library is just a block kind of down the road. We have the sub not far as well, the Student Union building where you can collect mail, get food. So there's loads of places right near North Russell. We're also conveniently located to two large parking garages, so you have an opportunity to park near the building. And then some of the amenities within North Russell, including the fact that we have really nice rooms, we also have a gorgeous, massive kitchen where students always cook together. We have a game room, we have meeting spaces and study rooms all throughout the building. We have our own classroom, which gives us the opportunity to house some of your core classes right here in your residence hall. And then we also have a meditation room, a quiet space for students who just need a little break, need some time to kind of refuel and have some reflection time. So that's North Russell Residence Hall. So what are the benefits, you might wonder, of living in Baylor and Beyond? Well, we've done lots of research to find out what do students benefit from our LLCs and from Baylor and Beyond. So our students tend to have a higher retention. In other words, they stay at Baylor and really connect much stronger, much faster to the entire campus community. We have a really strong sense of belonging from our students where they feel like they belong at Baylor and they really feel like they belong in North Russell and Baylor and Beyond with their friends. We have a lot of staff and faculty who are connected to Baylor and Beyond, who work here in the residence hall, who live here, who run small groups and events. And so you have really strong staff and faculty mentorship as well as your strong peer mentorship. We also have scholarships available in North Russell, which I'm going to talk about in a moment and tell you more about our scholarships. And then we also, because we have the classroom and we have the strong faculty connection, we have these LLC specific classes and sections. So for example, all students are required as part of the core to take Christian scriptures or Christian heritage. And so we always have a section of Christian scriptures that is taught in North Russell by one of our faculty who's close to our community. And it is just for North Russell residents. So you don't even have to leave the building sometimes to have some of your classes. We also have so many events that we bring campus partners to you. So maybe you're struggling in learning how to manage your time. Well, we will bring partners to the community to have an event here in North Russell to tell you about how to develop time management skills, where you can find help if you're struggling with time management. We have partners all across campus that come into the building to help you learn about what's available to you and then have a personal face-to-face connection with a staff member or a faculty member that can help support you. So we talked about what Baylor and Beyond is, that we like to help you to engage at Baylor, and we also want you to encounter the world. We do that through all of this strong community building, strong mentorships with peers and staff and faculty. We are housed in the great North Russell Residence Hall, which is newly refurbished and has tons of great spaces for you to connect with each other. So if this is something that sounds exciting to you and you want to know, what do I do next, Leah? How do I join North Russell. So here are the steps for the housing process. So first of all students need to complete their housing application by May 1, and we suggest that if you want to live with us, you put us as your first preference. If you don't put Baylor and Beyond as your first preference, we don't always guarantee that we can offer you a space. So if this is something where you want to live, make sure you have us as your first preference before the deadline on May 1. You'll receive your housing assignment after May once Campus Living and Learning have sorted through everybody's preferences, and you'll be informed where you've been assigned for the fall semester. You'll also have the chance, once that takes place, to participate in roommate matching and room selection. And then once you've gotten into North Russell, you've found your roommates, you've picked your room, we'll start sending you emails to tell you about all the amazing things that you can sign up for before you arrive here in the fall, and all the ways that you can begin getting connected to the community with us. So make sure you fill out that housing application by May 1 and put Baylor and Beyond as your first preference. Quickly about the scholarships. So we do have 40 scholarships that we give out every year. They're needs-based scholarships. So we work with financial aid to identify our students who need the financial support. It's awarded after you've been assigned to Baylor and Beyond, so after May 1. You do need to live in the LLC your whole first year, but the scholarship will go with you for 4 years, even if you don't live with Baylor and Beyond your second, third, or fourth year. There is a required LLC class to help support you and get you acclimatized to the Baylor community. And then we also offer you the opportunity to be involved in a leadership role. And like I said, the scholarship is up to 8 semesters. So you don't just get it for being in Baylor and Beyond your first year, it continues with you. But I really have said enough, and I would love for you to hear from Taylor, who is one of our students who's currently living in Baylor and Beyond. So I'll let her introduce herself more and tell you a little bit about what it's like to be a student in North Russell.
Thank you so much. First of all, my name is Taylor Jerry. I am a freshman here at Baylor and Beyond. I was in your shoes about this time last year, so I know how you're feeling. I'm currently a CL right now, but I'm gonna go off of my experience from first semester as an incoming freshman. One of the things that I love most about Baylor and Beyond is the community that we have here. It's just, we have so many events for us to get involved. And I know as incoming freshmen, one of the main things that I was worried about was finding a community and being able to make friends. And Baylor and Beyond really has your back on that, especially within the first few months of the semester and just the whole entire year. But we have community dinners, we have different social clubs that you can join. There's just a bunch of opportunities for you here, and I absolutely love it. I honestly think that we have one of the best communities on campus. I would say that whether I was here on this platform or not, we really do have one of the best community on campus. So let me know if you have any questions.
Thank you so much, Taylor. And Taylor got to go on our trip to New York for spring break. So we had a lot of fun learning about the history of New York, seeing Hamilton together, and all kinds of fun adventures. So we've talked a lot. We'd love to connect with you. We know you may have questions and we'd love to answer your questions. But also, if you want to learn more, our website address is here. I highly encourage you to go check out our Instagram. We use it very heavily in the community, so I think it will really give you an insight into kind of the things that we do here and how our community connects with one another. We also have on our highlights in Instagram lots of details about the tours, about our trips to New York. You can even see inside one of the rooms from last summer, so we encourage you to go ahead and check that out. But please let us know what questions you have. We're happy to answer them for you.
Students, go ahead and utilize the chat or the Q&A if you have any specific questions about programming in the Baylor Beyond LLC or just the Living Center in general. I can go ahead and get us started off with a question. Can you talk about maybe one of your favorite programs that the LLC puts on, or some of the opportunities that students will have throughout the week to engage with their hallmates?
Yeah.
There are, oh wait, was that for me or Leah?
You can go for it and I'll say.
Okay. There are so many events. I'm actually a part of the social committee, leadership club. And once a month we'll have community dinners, but just in 1 week, there will be every Friday, we have a fun Friday. So we just all come together and there will be lots of food and we'll just all hang out and just enjoy each other's, community. During the week, there will be like little sessions in the classroom, whether it's, a worship night or you need help with tutoring or just some motivations for academics. So I think all those little events that happen throughout the week really allow a great community to happen here at Baylor. And it's literally impossible not to get involved.
Yeah, I think one of my events is the cultural cooking nights that we do where somebody teaches us how to make something from their culture. So my family is English and Greek. And so I taught the students how to make baklava. I think it was in September last year. And so we were all around the kitchen making baklava together and eating it, which is of course the most important part afterwards. So that was really fun.
That's awesome. We have another question in the chat. How does the Baylor Beyond LLC differ from, say, Earl or Honors Housing or some of the other residence halls that we have on campus?
Yeah, that's a great question. We're all quite similar in that we have very high faculty, student engagement. We build strong community. One of the big differences with somewhere like Honors is we're only a 1-year requirement. So we do have students who stay sophomore, junior, and senior year, but with like a residential college like the Honors, they only have 1 year. The other difference is we have students from all majors. So what's really great about this is if you're a science and health major, and that's great, you will find people here who are also science and health majors, but you also have to take core classes. And sometimes you may struggle with some of those core classes, and you're going to find somebody in the community who maybe is a philosophy major, and maybe you're having to take a philosophy class and you're getting some of that like help understanding something that you're being challenged with. Or we'll bring in, maybe you're interested in global health and how the science and health services kind of work outside of the US. Well, we usually try and connect and bring in somebody who will talk to our students about what does it mean to think about health from a global perspective and not just kind of your local community. So that's how we differ. We have that global emphasis in everything that we do, but also you just get to meet students from a much broader experience on campus rather than more of a narrow thing. So if you're stressed out about classes in your major and you need a break, you can find a whole group of people who have nothing to do with your major and you can kind of relax and take that step back. So that's one of the biggest differences I would say you experience here.
Fantastic. Can you talk a little bit more about how the Baylor and Beyond Living and Learning Center engages with the larger Waco community and also the Baylor campus as well?
Yes, we actually do. We're connected to a lot of nonprofits here in Waco. So we try to have a lot of service opportunities, especially now that things are changing with COVID, where things are opening up more. We always used to have a weekly service project here in Waco. So we're going to continue that in the fall. We also work with World Hunger Relief, which is a nonprofit here in Waco that works to relieve kind of food insecurity in the local community, but also across the world. And so they have a farm. So we do a lot of fundraising to contribute to that nonprofit. And then we usually, again, before the pandemic, which we're starting up again in the fall, we have days where we go to the farm and you can kind of learn how they take care of the animals, how they farm different vegetables and how they help build the community and give food to the local community. So it's a really neat program. So that's ways that we connect to the local Waco community.
For students that are interested in living in the Learning Center beyond their freshman year, what are some leadership or extra opportunities that they can take advantage of?
Yeah, we have a lot of leadership positions that we offer to freshmen, but some of them we reserve for upper division students. So for example, our neighborhoods that we mentioned, which are our small group academic interest themed groups. We can have freshmen who lead those, but then we have a position that actually leads the leaders and helps support the neighborhood leaders in their programming. Or we have our council that oversees all the different committees that we run in North Russell. So those positions are usually reserved for upper division students. And then just being an upper division student, when housing opportunities come around, you have first access to single rooms and more preferred rooms so that you can kind of reserve some of the nicer space, like they're all nice spaces, but more privacy as you get older in the community. And yeah, we just offer kind of more mentorship, more one-on-one time with faculty and staff as you get to kind of go through the community.
Fantastic. And we do have another question in the Q&A. Do international students participate in the roommate matching? And is it possible for a student to room with an international student?
Yes, it is absolutely possible. They do participate in the roommate matching. As long as everybody has filled their housing application by May 1, then they have the opportunity to roommate match, doesn't matter kind of where they're from. It won't necessarily automatically put you with an international student, but you can ask questions it kind of gives you options for roommates. When you do roommate matching, it says you're a good match with this person, you could be a good match with that person. So you could email them and ask them, where are you from and where's home to you? And if they are an international student, then it would be a good match. But even if you don't room with somebody, the chances are your next door neighbor could be somebody across the hall, could be you're going to meet multiple international students just hanging out in the lobby for 5 minutes. So even if the roommate thing doesn't work out, there's loads of ways for you to still connect. And you can always move rooms later in the semester as things open up, or if you come back as sophomores, you can always become roommates with that person that you've met who's from another country.
Can you talk about maybe some of the other recipes or different events that students have helped put on that celebrate their cultures and traditions?
Yeah, we had an event last semester which was called Education in My Country. So we had about 6 different international students, all from different parts of the world. And we asked them okay, what does school look like? Where your high school, your middle school, primary school, what did that look like growing up in your country? Did you have school uniforms? What kinds of subjects did you study? What time does school start in that country as opposed to the US? So it was really cool to see how different education is across the world and how we all came together, even though we have come from different countries, learning, getting through high school in very different ways, but we've all ended up at Baylor studying kind of together.
Fantastic. I have a question for Taylor. Taylor, can you talk about how your experience in the Baylor and Beyond Living and Learning Center has really shaped or given you a new perspective in your experience at Baylor?
Yes. One thing that I realized when coming here is how important being exposed to different cultures is. I am a psychology major in the pre-med route, but I don't think it matters what major you have here at Baylor. You're going to have to learn how to be in contact and make relationships with people from all different types of cultures, because I really believe that in order to serve people the best, you have to kind of understand the best way to help them. And I think Baylor and Beyond really gives its residents the opportunity to be immersed in different cultures so that they can pass that along and just keep on spreading culture with everybody else, which is something we really need right now.
That's awesome. Thank you so much for sharing. Well, students, if we don't have any more questions, we're about wrapping up with our time here, but thank you so much, Taylor, for sharing from your experience, and Leah for sharing about the programming, the fantastic programming that happens in this residence hall. And students, if you have any further questions, feel free to visit their webpage. The link is right over there, or send them an email, and questions about housing as well can be directed to Campus Living and Learning. So thank you everyone for joining us today, and I hope everyone has a great rest of their weekend.
Thanks so much. Bye.